If you've been struggling to drop weight, stay tuned because this one strategic tweak could change everything. What if I told you how you combine your carbs and fat could be sabotaging your weight loss efforts? Most diets fail because they overlook this one game-changing rule that I'm about to share with you today. Hi YouTube, I'm Erin. I'm a health empowerment strategist and holistic chef, and I'm obsessed with all things health and wellness. And one of the things I'm really passionate about is plant-based weight loss. I've seen so many women struggle with this, and I've had my own struggles, especially with binge eating and a crazy addiction to sweets. And what I want women to know and truly understand, you don't have to give up your carbs. You don't have to give up your sweet addiction. There are so many ways that you can still enjoy all of those wonderful flavors and textures and still drop weight. Today I'm going to share 3 different concepts with you, whether you've been on the weight loss journey for years or you're just getting started and you're looking to adopt more of a plant-based lifestyle. This is the video for you. Stay tuned. Okay, I totally get it. Cookies, brownies, French fries, they're so delicious, and they're delicious for a reason. You have an immense amount of carbs and fat being combined, and that equals addictive food. And even foods touted as healthy, like apples and peanut butter, avocado and toast, can really hinder your weight loss efforts if you're adding too much fat with that apple or with that toast. And I don't know about you, but the recommended serving size of peanut butter is 2 tablespoons. I don't know anybody who's been able to limit themselves to just 2 tablespoons. Avocado, same thing. Who just wants to eat a couple of tablespoons of avocado with their toast? It can easily get out of control. So this video isn't necessarily for the woman who has more than 20 pounds to lose. The more weight you have to lose, the less strict you have to be. This is more for the woman that's just looking to lose the last pesky 5 to 10 pounds, because the lower you get to your goal weight, the more strict that you need to be. But I'll get into that a little further along in the video. Okay, number 2, let's talk about how fat slows down the emptying of carbs out of the bloodstream. Now, a lot of medical professionals purport this as something that you want in order to maintain a steady blood sugar level, but over time, this can lead to insulin resistance and even type 2 diabetes. So Dr. NEAL BARNARD, who's a medical doctor from the Physicians Committee, explains this really well. Take, for instance, a cheese pizza. Really high in carbs from the crust, really high in fat from the cheese and all of the oil associated with that. So the fat goes into your muscle, and when your muscle cells are full of fat, it can't accept the glucose from the carbs in that same meal. Now your metabolism goes down, and over time you'll develop insulin resistance because the fatty cell can't take direction. But once you take the fat out, now the glucose can get into the muscle to be burned. I recently listened to this explanation on a wonderful podcast. The name of it was actually called Making Weight Loss Easy, and I'm going to link that below in the show notes. The Physicians Committee conducted a study on 64 women, and these women were either moderately to severely obese, and there were 2 rules. They needed to eliminate all animal products and severely lower their oil consumption. In 14 weeks, these women lost 13 pounds. A year later, they were checked and they had all maintained about an 11-pound weight loss, and after 2 years, they were all below their original weight. I don't know about you, whether you've been on your own weight loss journey or you know someone, most people bounce back to half their original weight or even their original weight or even beyond their original weight. It's very hard to maintain diet results from your weight loss journey. So the fact that these women after 2 years still were below their original weight is really impressive. The fact of the matter is, if you stick to any diet, you will lose weight. But can you sustain it? And that's one of the reasons I'm super passionate about a high carb, low fat, plant-based lifestyle. Personally speaking, and from loads of women that I've coached and that I follow online, they can maintain their weight loss, and that's because they're not starving themselves of carbohydrates. Okay, let's talk about the third concept. If you are going to combine carbs with your fat, you want to keep your fat levels around 10 grams or less. That is a statistic that I heard a few years ago from a well-renowned weight loss expert. I don't even remember who it was, but the concept behind that is 1 gram of fat has 9 calories, whereas 1 gram of carbohydrates has 4 calories. What does that mean? That means you can eat more. And I don't know about you, but I love to eat, and I love to eat a lot in one sitting. And what I notice about the people around me who are eating a standard American diet devoid of fiber, they're done with their meals pretty quickly, whereas 45 minutes later, I'm still eating my meal. And that makes me happy. By skipping oils, you're removing a significant amount of fat and calorie density. Okay, so let's go over a couple of applicable examples here. One of them is a smoothie. I did it before and after. And in the before, I took what I see most people doing, and that is they're adding about 2 to 3 sources of fat in their smoothie, and they're combining it with a lot of fruit, because smoothies typically have a lot of fruit. And then people are wondering why they're not losing weight, thinking, oh my goodness, this smoothie is so healthy. Well, it is healthy, but it probably has too much fat in it. So this smoothie has fat coming from avocado, chia seeds, almond butter, and almond milk for a combined total of about 37 grams of fat. You know, combined with the banana and berries, that's a lot of fat. So in my after smoothie, I still did banana, I still did spinach. Instead of avocado, I did a greens powder, and I'll link a couple of my favorite greens powder below in the show notes. And then instead of berries, I did pineapple to really give it a lovely tropical sweetness. Still included the chia seeds, and instead of almond butter, I did hemp protein powder. And what I love about hemp protein powder, number one, it has all essential amino acids. It is plant-based, it is vegan, and it's really high in magnesium, copper, iron, and you really can't taste it. It's just going to darken the smoothie a little bit, but it's extremely healthy. It's cold pressed, which means it still maintains its vitamins and minerals. And then instead of almond milk, I just did coconut water or even water. And what you're left with is just about 6 to 7 grams of fat in the smoothie. And if you're really, really wanting to drop 3 to 5 pounds, you're really, really struggling, and you have to get a little more strict, just do a tablespoon of chia seeds, or don't even do chia seeds at all. Bump up the fruit in the smoothie to feel more full and satiated. Now, I wanted to do one more example, the beloved apples and peanut butter snack loved by adults and children alike. So in the before, it's just peanut butter and apples. And I did a 1/4 cup of peanut butter as the serving because, let's face it, even though it says a serving size of peanut butter is 2 tablespoons on the back of the bottle, I don't know anybody that is just eating 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, seriously. And you know what? A 1/4 cup is still probably pretty modest. You're probably eating more than that. But that's about 36 grams of fat. And combined with the apples, that's a lot of fat in one sitting. And again, peanut butter, apples, both, you know, we're talking natural peanut butter here, both inherently healthy, but combined can really hinder your weight loss efforts. So what I decided to do was make a peanut butter date caramel. And if you've never heard of date caramel, if you've never tried it, welcome aboard, because it is delicious. So I took about a 1/4 cup of softened packed dates, and you could use medjool dates, deglet noor, and if they're not soft, I mean super gooey soft, soak them in warm water for a good 20 to 30 minutes. And then I took a teaspoon of peanut butter, which only has about 3 grams of fat, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, a dash of maple syrup,
enough water to thin it out to your desired consistency. So if you prefer a thicker caramel, hold back on the water. If you like a really thin, runny caramel, add as much water as you need to when blending. And then I added a little bit of hemp protein powder, again, to really make this an all-around nutritionally packed snack that tastes like a dessert. I mean, you could eat this for breakfast. It's that good for you.
So let's go over a couple of key takeaways. I know I gave you a lot of information. It was all over the place. Let's bring it on home. Fat is not inherently bad for you. We need it for essential functions in the body. It's just when you combine too much fat with your carbohydrates is where you can start to run into problems that hinder your weight loss and that could eventually lead to insulin resistance and unfortunately even type 2 diabetes. All reversible though. Another key takeaway, if you are going to add fat to your meals, keep the fat around 10 grams or less. And if you're really truly struggling to lose those last 3 to 5 stubborn pounds, drop the fat even more, add in more carbohydrates to keep yourself satiated. Don't be afraid, the carbs aren't going to make you fat, I promise. I'd love to hear your feedback on this video. This is my first YouTube video. I'm super excited about this. I'm so passionate about talking about this. If you have any questions, drop me a comment and I'll see you in the next video.